Welcome once again to our continuing YouTube video series on business law. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal, and in this particular YouTube video we're going to be discussing the importance of knowing who your business partners are, especially those who you're looking to partner up with, and making sure that you properly protect yourself as you move forward in this new business relationship. Now, one of the greatest problems that you see as a lawyer, and I can tell this to you frankly, is that people oftentimes get too quickly into business arrangements, whether as partners or shareholders in a company, with someone else, without having properly vetted that person and being assured that their commitment to the business is going to be as great as their own. So what then happens? The business starts to take off, and there is no exit strategy and there's no proper structure. And one person oftentimes is carrying the workload and the other person is just simply benefiting from the whole process. This is a highly problematic situation and something that can be avoided if people take some more time before they advance into the process. But this is the biggest problem for people. They don't want to take the time at the outset, unfortunately. They don't want to look into who their business partner is. And most significantly, they don't want to put in place appropriate legal agreements to protect their interests in the business. Because for whatever reason, oftentimes it's because they have a fear that by trying to impose a legal agreement upon their new business partner, that they're going to somehow sour the arrangement. All of these ideas are fallacies that you should not live by. They are the greatest boon to your not making the most out of your business success and your business partnership. Instead, what you really need to be looking at is how best to advance your situation in a manner that properly protects your interests, allows you to work hard and gain the full benefit of it, and also look to have a partner that's equally, if not greater, committed and makes that contribution from which you benefit, because that is the purpose of a partnership. The purpose of a partnership is not so you carry somebody else. It's so each of you carries the other person, so your combined collaborative efforts are that much greater than if you were working individually and alone. And that is the reason why you partner up and as well as having multiple shareholders in a single company, as opposed to going it alone. So what do we recommend in this process? Well, the first thing that's always strongly recommended is that you have to learn who you're going in business with. You have to, and the thing is, with social media these days and the amount of resources that are available on the internet, you should be able to find lots of information as to who you're looking to partner with. It's unfortunate that people don't look at social media enough and don't work to find out what they can do to better position themselves going forward. Especially if this is a great opportunity as you think it is, you really have to make it successful, and that means you need collaboration and contribution from everybody involved and everyone who has a stake in it. So there's so many different ways that you can search somebody. You can be searching on them through just search engines, through Google. You can be looking at their LinkedIn profile, their other linkages, their professional availability. Another thing you want to do is, since you're going into business with them, ask the person to become your friend on Facebook. Once you're on their Facebook, you're going to be able to see who they are. Facebook, especially given that a lot of Facebook pages are kept private, the only way you're going to get in is through this means. But once you're in there, you get to find out who you are actually engaged with, especially for people who are heavily engrossed in Facebook and others, Instagram and the like. You'll be able to find out who you're actually dealing with. Now, on top of that, what you want to be doing is engaging the person and seeing what their interests are, what their really objectives are, and putting this down to paper. You want to start having a dialogue about what their inputs are, what they're looking to contribute to the business. Once again, put it on paper, what their concerns are, what they're trying to profit and what their long-term plans are. Everything, once again, put down on paper, because it is with that paper information you really need to go and discuss the matter with an experienced legal counsel. Because what the lawyer is going to be able to do is provide you a framework to build upon and put it together in an agreement, whether it is a partnership agreement if there's no company, or a shareholders agreement if the individuals are becoming shareholders in the company. And then structure it in such a way that properly protects yourself from bad performance or a failure to perform. Because remember what we've talked about just before, that you're putting a lot of this stuff on paper, you're putting down what their objectives are, what their intended contribution is, what they're aiming for, what their skills are, what they're bringing to the business. So you want to take all that stuff, and we discussed it in our discussions about unanimous shareholders agreements, you want to sort of push it all together and have your lawyer make this into this kind of agreements that sets forth standards and expectations with respect to performance, and also empowers them to perform in the areas that they are supposed to be performing. Now, the additional side of that is incentivizing. Not only do you want to get a level of performance, but you want to incentivize them to perform above the minimum. You want them to perform at the maximum. You want them to hopefully exceed their expectations. Because as we've discussed in other YouTube videos, the importance of that is that when they exceed expectations and when their contribution is much higher than you anticipate, or although you would hope for it, is that contribution benefits the entirety of the company. It benefits yourself equally. Although the person might be getting an incentive payment, the thing is the whole business grows as a whole, and that full growth means that everybody shares in the growth. And typically incentives might last for a short period of time, or they might allocate something of some substantial value, be it additional shares in the company. But at the end, it is everyone who is part of the company, who is either a shareholder or a partner in a partnership, who is going to benefit from that exceptional quality of input, of contribution, of achievement that is felt by the company, that is driven by the person, knowing that they are going to be properly rewarded for putting in that extra effort and seeing those extra results. So it is these combination of factors that you really need to consider and say, what do I want to be achieving by partnering up with somebody? Is it just for the fact that I want a partner or a shareholder? Well, if that's the case, you're really setting yourself up for disaster. Instead, what you want to be doing is partnering up or having a new shareholder come on board and join yourself in a particular business venture because you want to gain the benefits of collaboration and hard work and incentivized pursuits that you will hopefully be realizing significant increases in revenue, and therefore significant increases in profitability. And this is achieved when people know that their hard work is going to get rewarded. And hard work is not only limited to hours, but it's also reflected in quality. So if somebody is going to provide major quality, whether it's in conceptualizing new ideas, bringing to the fore, bringing new clients, or dealing with suppliers, or a range of other things, if those aspects are critical to the success of the business, increasing its revenue and increasing the profits that are shared among the partners or shareholders, then you really need to be structuring something that properly rewards the person and properly encourages them and incentivizes them to make those efforts to realize those objectives. Because as we said before, if you get somebody on board and they join with you and you collaborate and they exceed expectations, everyone benefits. And that needs to be your expectation. But the way to do that and the way to protect yourself is to take that conceptualization and work with a lawyer who's experienced and knowledgeable in this realm, so that you can get that structure in place. You protect your interests, but you also ensure that the person is committed and working towards those higher goals, which you will specifically benefit from. And that is what you need to be doing. Naturally, we can provide you with more on this, specific to your own circumstances, with our own paid legal services, given that we do a lot of work in this realm and have the experience and insight that we expect you to need to structure this properly and to communicate it effectively to your business partner or fellow shareholder, so they understand the rationale for this is to facilitate the success of the business, to ensure that there's performance by all individuals, and to top it off, the opportunity for exceptional work to be properly rewarded. And it is that which should be driving the party to saying, that sounds like a plan. That is why I want to sign off with an agreement. I'm not afraid of the agreement, but I actually encourage agreement because it provides me the assurances I would otherwise be looking for. And this way, I'm locked in and protected with respect to the work that I do and getting properly compensated for that work. The proper remuneration is going to be coming to myself because the contract is designed to protect each of the shareholders and to ensure that the specific objectives that are being required or sought after from a specific shareholder or partner are properly incentivized and then properly rewarded, because that is how the arrangement really works best with human beings. Because remember, these are people that you are dealing with. Well, once again, I trust you have found our YouTube video informative. Please like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and provide us with your ongoing comments, as they are extremely important to our continuing to provide more effective, practical, and insightful business and legal advice to parties without effectively providing the specific advice that you might be seeking, given that this remains a highly generalist and broad-ranging, non-specific YouTube video. Nevertheless, as always, I'm available to you for paid legal services that go specifically focused on this area, given that it's a core aspect of my legal practice over the past 20 years. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again.